Nathan, what kind of food do you focus on? I'm interested to learn more about your restaurants.
We've got a mix of cafes and restaurants and bars, so nothing kind of one sort of style or another. We used to mainly focus on cafes many years ago, and then we more recently have diversified into restaurants, bars, yeah.
Did the shutdown in Melbourne and the subsequent issues that caused impact you?
Yeah,
your
massively.
business?
Yeah, me personally. I mean, I've got 4 kids, and the year before COVID, I had a few cafes that I'd sold, and I probably should have just retired and been happy. But something in me decided to open 5 cafes the year before COVID. So I opened one in June, one in July, 2 in October, and one in December. And then in March, we were in lockdown. So for the first week, they were like, good luck, everyone. Then they started talking about JobKeeper, but at that time they were like, we need 12 months of your trading history. And I'm like, how about 3 weeks? But we managed to get JobKeeper and got through, and a lot of things positive came out of it. But, that's where you've got to innovate and I guess, start to find ways to add value, and, innovation is when, those things come out of that kind of hard times, I guess.
What's a practical example of that innovation in hospitality?
When Nathan finishes, I'm going to interject because I reckon I can answer something that Nathan's did, which is innovation and how he pivots in the industry.
Oh, I wonder what that is. I guess like a lot of places started to look at taking over existing sites that were already set up, minimising the cost that you go into and you fit out. Probably from us though, we had a farm that we had set up at the time, so we started growing a lot of our own produce and being a lot more involved in that.
That's Freshwater Creek, isn't it?
Yeah, and just kind of, I think as a business, being a bit more kind of understanding of what your purpose is and what your why is, and then really making sure that comes through.
Look at the Freshwater Creek, which is, I thought you were mad when you opened that, because that's, okay, so it's a farm cafe.
Yeah.
The land, I know that land is really, really awful soil. It's an awful soil, and you're doing it organically, is that right? Organically and community-based, so it's almost like a not-for-profit, is it?
It is, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you knew about it.
Yeah, no, I've written a story about it.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had restaurants, and I always felt like they were successful, but I didn't feel like I was feeling very fulfilled. And when we sold the restaurants, I kind of felt like, if I'm in the industry, what am I doing about the food system, and what am I doing about the community? And I don't know, like, I'm sure you've all had times in your life where you feel like you've made it and you're feeling like what success is, but I felt really empty. And so I decided to just, without even thinking about it, which is the way I generally do things, is to take a lease on that farm and basically create a community farm that focuses on food security, and essentially training and employment pathways for people.
It's amazing.
Okay, so just explain the charity, what it does. It's actually...
So it's a 4-acre farm, and basically we offer training and employment pathways for asylum seekers. So women who have never had employment in the Geelong region, they've been here for between 1 and 10 years. They've never had a job and facing massive barriers to employment. We invite them into the kitchen. And I guess this is the kind of funny bit, that this all happened from COVID. When COVID hit, we had all these restaurants and we had this farm, and all our restaurants were closed. And then the local council said, hey, we want to support you. We'll give you $50,000 to provide food relief meals. And at the time I was like, hey, actually, we're okay. We've got jobs, we've got houses, we've got roofs over our head. Why don't we actually engage with the community who are most at risk and get them to prepare the food? So we reached out to a company that assists asylum seekers and said, hey, we've got this money. We'd love to run this program. So these 3 women from Afghanistan came to the kitchen, prepared 100 meals every week that were just the most beautiful, culturally appropriate meals you've ever seen. Donated them to the local food relief, which is where they were normally getting food. So now they're actually providing the food. After 6 weeks, we paid them to do that. And then we then helped them find employment. And then the money that they essentially, at the end of that 6-week program, do a dinner where we invite the public to come and eat their food. Yep. And then the money that raises funds the next group of women. So over the last 7 years, about 50 women have gone through it. And so that would not have happened if it wasn't for COVID. You know?
So do you feel that your heart is filled now because you were saying that you felt that there was sort of...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you have the why, the how is really easy, right?
Yeah.
And I never really had that. And I think for me, yeah.
And I think some of the most beautiful things come from the hardest place. You know, in life, if you really get a hold of it, your downest points, your best things come from there. You know what I mean? The hardest things.
Yeah.
You discover yourself. You find you discover new things, new people, new ways.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful, mate. Like really, really good on you.
It's really funny men talking about women, but women, it's just kitchens and gardens are often a safe place for women, away from men, and that way there's a safe that third place where they are not visible, where they're only visible to each other, and those conversations arise and support arises, and that's a lot in communities and people, First Nations, but also people new to Australia. And I think that's something we've lost as Skip Whiteys, that we don't have that in our culture. That kitchen's a
That
safe
kitchen
place.
thing, yeah.
There's a real connection as well between the soil. Essentially, is where all life is formed, and when you think about our food, it all comes from the soil and the nutrients, and 90% of serotonin and happiness is made in your gut.
In your stomach. And this is the health. You'd know this too, wouldn't you?
So-
The health stuff. Health. What you eat. Health.
Sitting back very patiently.
The reality is
There's
that like
so much science.
the food that we eat and the way it's grown
Yeah.
directly impacts your physical and mental health,
Exactly.
and it also impacts the way the environment. Like we're all about sequestering carbon into the soil, reducing greenhouse gases, but just fundamentally putting your hands in the soil, where all the microbiome is like that's the truth.
And you're earthing yourself as well.
Yeah. All the answers to our problems are below our feet, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely.